They say what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. Well, luckily for us, this isn't always the case. The reveal of the new CLA happened in Las Vegas at the Consumer Electronics Show earlier on in January. Mercedes-Benz says that the CLA has the potential to become a modern design icon with the sportiest dynamic characteristics in its class. Well, it is quite a German quality, one would say. Quite aptly, we are in Germany, Munich, to see if Mercedes-Benz can back up its claims. One thing I really envy about these German roads is that they're very smooth, and I think it really enhances the driving pleasure of the car. This car drives beautifully, it's smooth, it's agile, and thanks to the wider tracks, it really is sporty. It brings out that sporty performance, it's responsive, you're really connected and you get great feedback.
Okay, wait a minute. So what about the upcoming A-Class sedan? Well, if we had to compare the two, the A-Class sedan is 45mm longer and 55mm wider than the CLA Coupe. Although the A-Class is more sizable, the proportions of the CLA Coupe should lend itself to a more dynamic driving experience.
I'm driving the CLA 200 and it's a 4-cylinder 2-liter engine that gives off 140 kilowatts and 400 Newton meters. I drove the CLA 220D yesterday, and I must say I'm even more impressed by how dynamic it feels and engaging. One thing that really stood out is that the engine noise is quite subtle, and I think they've really worked that out quite beautifully. It sounds amazing, get beautiful undertones, even in this car. The reason this car was actually unveiled at the Consumer Electronics Show is quite evident when you look at all the technology that's jam-packed inside here. It's got all the latest Mercedes-Benz technology, obviously the MBUX you find in here, as well as the new package that's called Energizing Package in the new CLA.
This package is aimed at heightening comfort levels while driving. The wellness feature keeps the driver revitalized and alert with functions such as the ambient lighting with program-specific lighting.
Mercedes-Benz says they designed the CLA as more than a car, but as a personal device, and it shows. More generous dimensions for the car ensure that you have more leg room in the front as well as in the rear. However, for taller passengers, that headspace might be a bit constricted.
The coupe lines of the C-pillar call for a more sportier feel over comfort for the rear passenger.
With the Audi A3 sedan being its only real competitor in the segment, Mercedes-Benz hopes to dominate with a car that is not short of appeal, dynamism, and an overall package. It's packed to the roof with technological features, and I think it's a header in its segment. Well, I can only ask one question. Does Mercedes-Benz back up its claims? I think it certainly does.